Welcome to another meeting of the Lorain County Commissioners, broadcast exclusively on your Lorain County Community College education station. The Lorain County Commissioners cordially invite you to see the meeting live and in person every Thursday morning. The meetings are located in the Lorain County Administration Building, located at 226 Middle Avenue in downtown Elyria. The meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on most weeks. Now, enjoy the meeting.
We have concluded the public hearing. Yes, Jerry Ennis?
Just in case we want to change that date when he gets his calendar, you need to recess this until such time as we confirm that date. If somebody leaves and then we change the date, then we're going to have to re-advertise. So
I don't think we need to change the date or the time. If you want 3 commissioners here.
I'm saying, if any reason you change the date, we're going to be messed up. So why don't you just recess it for a few minutes until we confirm that date.
Our assistant prosecutor, as a formality, and this is a formal proceeding with legal implications, has suggested to us that we need to verify Mr. Schrader's availability on October the 11th before we go into the next hearing. So we'll recess.
Well, excuse me, we could go with the next one, but let's not terminate this one until we confirm that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I see where you're going. Okay.
But no, we already did by vote.
I thought so too, but
Continued it. We set the new date, but we haven't concluded this hearing.
I was concluding it. I think that's wrong.
Let's just recess it
Okay, so we need a motion for
for a few
recess.
minutes.
Do we have a motion?
Then we'll go into the next.
Do we need a motion to recess? Is that-
I'll move to recess.
Okay, I'll second.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're recessing that hearing, but we're moving on to the next one, which was advertised for 11 a.m. And this public hearing he's working too. Here it is. Okay.
Jerry has to have a switch.
Yeah, I have to do it again. This public hearing is on the proposed annexation of approximately 58.32 acres in Elyria Township to the city of Elyria. Attorney Garrett Murray is acting on behalf of Ernest Alessio, agent for petitioner Billy S. Rowland, trustee of the Billy S. Rowland Trust. This petition was submitted on June 25th. The engineer reviewed the accuracy of the petition and map, and by report dated June 7th, the engineer indicated no discrepancies. The land is adjacent and contiguous to the city of Elyria. The Commissioners, by Resolution 1-598, adopted June 21st, received the petition and map and scheduled this public hearing. Elyria City Council adopted Ordinance 2001-127 dated August 6th, setting forth services to be provided to this property if the annexation is granted. Again, at this time, I will ask that Jerry Ennis swear in anybody who wishes to give testimony or comment on this annexation. Please stand and be sworn in.
Again, I'd ask anybody who even thinks they might possibly testify to stand and be sworn. Do each of you swear or affirm that the statements that you shall give today shall be the truth, that you shall answer as God or under the penalty of the law of perjury?
Thank you. Attorney Murray?
Madam Chairman, my name is Garrett Murray. My address is 120 East Avenue, Elyria, and I represent Ernest Alessio, who is the agent for the owner, Billy S. Rowland, trustee of the Billy S. Rowland Trust, and Billy S. Rowland individually. We're requesting the annexation of 58.32 acres of bare, unimproved land from the township of Elyria to the city of Elyria. The petition and map was filed by Billy S. Rowland, trustee of the Billy S. Rowland Trust, on May 30th, 2001. Notice of the filing was delivered to the city of Elyria clerk, Art Weber, on May 30th, and notice was delivered also to the township clerk, Barbara Baker, on May 31st. The approval of the legal description by the county engineer and the map was done on June 2nd, 2001. After that time, it was discovered that 3 of the parcels on the petition map were titled in the name of Billy S. Rowland individually, not into Billy S. Rowland, trustee of the Billy S. Rowland Trust. So an amended petition was filed by Billy S. Rowland, trustee of the Billy S. Rowland Trust, and Billy S. Rowland individually on June 25, 2001, with the same legal description, the same real property, and the same map. Size of the parcel did not increase or decrease. Legal description didn't change. The map didn't change. On June 26th, notice of the filing of the amended petition and the same map was delivered to Art Weber, clerk of Elyria. And on June 26th, notice was delivered to Barbara Baker, notice of the amended petition. At the same time, they received notice of today's hearing. So we respectfully request that you accept that amended petition, as the additional signature was the same person, but a technicality, we felt that in one instance he was signing as a trustee and one as an individual. There is authority for this in the case of in-rate petition of annexation of 368.08 acres of land, more or less, in Springfield Township, Court of Appeals, 4th District, Ross County, November 25, 1997, where they indicated that the General Assembly, in amending the statutes to restrict the withdrawal of signatures from a petition to 20 days, but made no mention of the addition of signatures thereof, felt that the legislature intended to perpetuate the existing common law regarding the addition of signatures. There is a section in Chapter 709 where the commissioners can amend the petition at a hearing. This property is, I have the map here, and you also have a copy of it. But this property is located south of the Ohio Turnpike. So this is the Ohio Turnpike, and the property is located and adjoins it, and it's the property, it's to the south. It's west of Edison Court, and Edison Court dead ends into this property. Edison Court is in the township. It's west of Emerson Court, and Emerson Court also is in the township. Emerson Court dead ends into my client's property. The property is also west of Samuel Street, and Samuel Street is located in the city of Elyria. I would at this time, with your permission, approach the bench, and I do have an aerial photo of this property which helps to delineate it. I also have, that's from the auditor's office, I also have a copy of the tax map, and I also have with me a copy of the City of Elyria map, which I have delineated the corporation lines to show you exactly where that is and how close the City of Elyria is to this property.
I wonder what that envelope going back and forth was.
Okay, here. Oh, this is an aerial photo, and it's very descriptive.
I'll give you the photo here.
This is Now, where's the tax map? And this is the map of the city of Elyria showing the
113.
Thank you, Carol.
That must be.
Yes, that's on Lake Avenue.
This is all township.
Lake Avenue, kind of.
We got a little yellow line.
Here.
Yeah.
Where the line goes, Garrett.
Sorry. Or is the yellow line in the photograph the city limits? Is that what, can you recall?
The aerial photo.
Yeah.
The colored aerial photo is, what's in yellow is the property that is the territory.
But there's a fine yellow line too.
To the east of it, going along the,
Right?
To the south. It looks like it might be the city, like is the, is this church in Elyria?
If you take a look at the,
Where's that original? Okay, here we go. You got the
if you take a
yellow.
look at the city map,
Yeah, that's what that is. This is that yellow line here.
yeah.
So they're adjacent, right there on that. That's it.
See,
Only touch it.
the,
Right here.
our
See? It's 3.8 acres. So where are they gonna run the sewers at?
Our property adjoins the city of Elyria at this point along this property line here.
Right.
Is that the only place where it's contiguous?
Emerson Court.
Edison
That's
Court is
along
Edison
the
and Emerson, this is
rear
township.
along the Samuel Street
Everything to the left of the yellow.
properties.
Township to the right.
If you look at the city map, you can see that the corporate line then runs along Sheriff Street, runs along Lake Avenue. And you can see that that Warden, Parmalee, Brace, Morgan, on both sides of Lake Avenue are in the city of Elyria.
But those are on the east side.
Samuel Street is, Cortland, Bell, and the city of Elyria services all that area now with utilities, police, fire.
Gary, you need to clarify, that's on the east side of Lake Avenue, right?
Oh, okay, I'm not worried about that.
Warden and Parmalee that you just mentioned,
That's correct.
on the east side of Lake
Well, no,
Avenue.
it's on,
Am I incorrect?
yes, it's on the east side.
And the
And co-
property that's thought to be annexed is on the west side of Lake Avenue.
That is correct.
Abutting the courts that you've mentioned.
But are you guys servicing, is the city servicing Edison Court?
Pardon me?
No? Okay, I see. Okay. But they're servicing Samuel.
We are servicing
See,
Samuel.
here's the corporation line.
Yeah,
It's like this.
I know, but I was just asking if they service they're servicing Samuel.
Yeah, Samuel Street is in the city of
It's in the
Elyria.
city.
Samuel Street has sanitary sewer
Okay.
and other services. And we brought this city map to show that all that surrounding area, as you can see from the outline on the city map, that whole area is in the city of Elyria and is receiving services.
How are they going to get sanitary services to the part, the section that needs to be annexed if it's only contiguous?
On backyards.
The,
Yes.
I guess we're jumping ahead on you, aren't we, Gary?
a little bit, but I would just say that
I think the method is though.
you have in your transcript that I filed with you this morning, you have City Ordinance 2001-126, which indicates the services that they would provide and be willing to provide. This, to answer your question, Commissioner, the use of this territory would be by the owner. The only owner is Billy S. Rowland, trustee Billy S. Rowland individually. Billy S. Rowland is the principal in a company known as Rowland Enterprises, and I think Rowland Enterprises is well known in the county for developing residential and commercial properties. And their purpose in asking that this be annexed and what they intend to do with it is to make a residential development. If you look at the colored map, you can see that that the streets that it adjoins is all residential, it's all built up, and this would be a continuation of a residential development.
But the
Regarding a sanitary sewer service,
There we go.
Sanitary sewer service can be provided by the city and cannot be provided by Elyria Township. Sanitary sewer services to this parcel can be extended in a westerly direction from Lake Avenue along Emerson Court or along Edison Court. And of course, the city of Elyria has a 10-inch sanitary sewer that runs along Lake Avenue and services all that area that I've indicated that is in Elyria to the east and to the south.
But Emerson and Edison are in the township, are they not?
That's correct.
But then how are they going to get the sewers through there?
Well, they'd have to get permission from the township through the county engineers and I guess from the commissioners to come down the township road, which is not unusual. They would have the right to do that, granting the permission to dig in the road. And the developer would have to pay for that, and the developer would have to replace the road as to its previous condition. There is a sanitary sewer line that runs down Samuel Street, and but the city engineer indicates that that is an 8-inch line and probably would not be large enough to service this area. So therefore, they would have to come down either one of those two streets. There is some problem with water in that area, and in the planning stage of the development of this property, engineering would provide for retention of the water, and the general drainage is to the north, and there is a ditch along the Ohio Turnpike which flows into the Black River. Again, I have for you a copy of the ordinance of the City of Elyria, 9345, again, which restricts sanitary sewer service to a property owner unless they're in the City of Elyria. As I indicated, the City of Elyria, which has a full-time police department and full-time fire department, already has provided service in this area. I'm thinking that this matter will probably be continued, and therefore I'll reserve to another time the recitation that I gave before regarding the law, as long as I have the opportunity in the future to present that. So, in conclusion, we feel that this property cannot be developed without sanitary sewer. It's the general good of this territory that it have that sanitary sewer service so that it can be developed into a residential subdivision. We think that we have complied with the requirements of Section 709033, which is entitled Order for Annexation, and we respectfully request that this annexation be accepted.
Thank you, Garrett. Does that include your presentation with the stipulation that you...
Yes, yeah, because I understand.
I understand, and thank you very much. Okay. I assume that you are the attorney representing Elyria Township. Would you come forward to the microphone and identify yourself, please?
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Popovich, and I represent the Elyria Township trustees in this case. I would like to first submit into the record some exhibits. May I approach?
Absolutely. Would you give your information to the clerk, please?
I also like, oh, sorry. I'd also like to submit this exhibit, which will be discussed by the Township Trustee Bill Holzman in this case. I will state for the record that the Township Trustee does oppose the annexation of this parcel of property on two conditions. Number one, on the fact that the parcel, the proposed annexation does not satisfy the sufficient contingency requirements under Revised Code 709.02, and there is no proof that the annexation will serve the general good of the proposed territory, in that currently there is no means of ingress and egress for the sewer system or for services. That is our position. I would like to reserve a few minutes. I would first like to have Township Trustee Bill Holzman speak a little bit to you with respect to our position, as he is much more knowledgeable with respect to the services that the township provides.
Bill Holzman, Elyria Township Trustee.
Good morning, Commissioners. William Holtzman, Elyria Township Trustee. If I may bring this forward, I think it would be of help to the Commissioners to...
We have a little one.
Does it have the boundary line on
Yes,
there?
yes.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Same? Okay.
Same, just about.
The Elyria Township Board of Trustees strongly opposes this annexation, which cuts into the core of what's left of our township. In our opinion, the parcel is unreasonably large and only abuts the city of Elyria along a 600-foot strip here that's just to the north of Samuel Street. There are no city streets that connect with this parcel, and the only way that the parcel could be accessed by the traveling public or for sewers is through our township streets, via either Edison or Emerson Court. And we would be opposed to the city utilizing our township roads that we would have to maintain to access this parcel for a residential development that would be in the city. We are of the opinion that the parcel would be better served if this parcel was developed as a development in the township. It would be an extension of our existing residential development. And the only thing that hinders that from happening is access, again, to the city sewers. We've had communications, like Eric Rothbury indicated, with the city pertaining to extension of sewers into the township. As he indicated, it's been mainly for existing subdivisions that exist in the township. But I think this would be a good opportunity to have a good faith effort with your neighbor, Elyria Township, to provide sewers to this area so it could be developed in the township. Presently our road department, would be servicing this end of the street, and would it be make good sense for the development, if it is extended off of Edison or Emerson, for it to be a township road for fire services, road services, and it just would make a nice development within the township. And we'd like to see it developed in the township. If in fact this is granted and the applicant extends a sewer down Edison or Emerson, we would certainly request that our citizens that live on those streets be allowed to tap into that sewer as a condition of this, of that permission being granted to use the township street. Like I indicated, the township presently provides adequate police and fire protection for this existing area. The Sheriff's Department provides good service to all of our residents. We haven't received any complaints from residents about the lack of police protection. The Fire Department, we have it manned with 2 full-time personnel, 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're complemented with volunteers, and after those hours, we have a volunteer fire department that adequately supports our existing residents, and it would also service the residents of this new development. The roads, we have a road department that would continue to maintain the existing roads, and if the development was in the township, we would maintain the roads in the new development. As indicated, the developer, Mr. Rowland, has, as of this date, has never approached the Township Board of Trustees with any proposals as to developing this property in the township. And I really haven't even seen any development plans. You know, if it is developed in the city, I'm not sure how they would develop it or access it. And it raises some issues. You know, our roads that we have on Edison or Emerson are only 16 feet wide. And, you know, if we build a 50-home development back here, we would certainly have grave concern to run all that traffic down our existing streets. Township has a zoning plan in place, presently zoned residential, and as indicated earlier, we'd like to see it developed in the township. We've had numerous annexations within the last few years. We have this one before us today, and it continues to erode the tax base of the township. It makes it more difficult for the Board of Trustees to continue our operations by losing revenue via these annexations. We'd like to see, hopefully in the near future, the city come to the table with the trustees and the Board of Commissioners to work out some agreement to extend sewers out into the township, so we could prevent coming before the board all the time with all these annexations. Pretty much concludes my comments,
Thank you, Mr. Holtzman.
and I hope they're relevant.
Ms. Popovich, do you have anything further at this time?
Yes. Would you like to speak also? Are we going to continue the hearing, or
Well,
is this a...
People aren't here. I just, no.
Mr. Ennis, can you help us out? We've heard from each of the attorneys, and she asked for Mr. Holtzman to speak.
An additional township trustee does want to speak. I do not want to hold the process up if we are actually coming back here.
Well, it appears that we cannot come to a conclusion today because there's more evidence to be presented in support of the issue, either from those in opposition to or in favor of. Mr. Murray?
Yeah, I'd recommend that we continue it so that having three in an hour and a half is rather tight.
Yeah, we found that out.
I found that out. And so, yes, if we could do that, and then we could take more testimony at that time.
Okay. Would the same day on October the 11th be okay, but with an extended period of time? In other words, if we have scheduled the one at 10:30, would 11:30?
It's fine.
But the only thing I was going to comment, Commissioners, if we are going to continue these all to the same day, and then we'll be getting to a point where our time limits are running out, I think we need to be prepared to allot sufficient time to conclude all of these hearings. I mean, obviously, if they end up going 4 or 5 hours, that won't happen either, but, I mean,
Mr.
I would
Murray?
avoid putting a tight time limit if we can. But I think we need to dedicate the time to try and...
Well, we also have to establish at least a starting time. I appreciate your comments. Mr. Murray?
Yeah, I would respectfully suggest maybe the following Thursday, since I have three of them.
What, on the 24th?
Well, you're tap dancing very well today. I don't know why you can't do that again on the 11th.
I'm speaking from experience.
Can we do that? Yeah, another time.
I'm sorry, what is the discussion, please?
If we have this hearing, the following week will be Thursday, October 18th.
Okay.
That's still that's like 63 days. It's within the 90-day period still, so.
Is October the 18th available to you, Mr. Murray?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
And Ms. Popovich?
Yes.
Okay.
not good.
Do we have,
No,
excuse
I won't
me?
be here. I won't be here.
Okay.
Okay, then we're going to have to pick a different day.
25th is the following Thursday?
Sounds good.
10:25, October 25th, okay? All right, I'll move that we continue this hearing. You don't have anything scheduled that day, Roxanne?
Okay.
To October 25th at 10:30. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on that date? Madam Clerk?
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Yes, it is. I have an 8:45 pretrial in Summit County, but I'll either have someone else in my office handle it, or I will approach Judge Adams down there about continuing that so that I can be here. So 10:30 on October 11th would be fine.
Okay, then
I would
we,
expect it would take no more than about 2.5 to 3 hours. I mean, we're down to the issue of sewer. We've got one lead of the 5 or 6 findings you have to make. There's 1 or 2 I'm going to be talking about. I think we can conclude it in about 2.5 hours. Hopefully, we'll be able to negotiate in the meantime and not have to have a hearing.
well, I think that sounds wonderful.
Sounds like a great idea.
And I think that the Elyria Township issue should be handled in the same fashion. Mr. Ennis, did you want to say something?
No, then you can now close. that
Okay, that's
first
it. All
hearing.
right. Then, for the record, we have closed the first hearing and the second hearing.
And again, there will be no further official publicized notice of that hearing.
Okay, the audience
Anybody
understands.
who was here on the first one should be aware that's October 11th at 10:30.
Okay, that's the first hearing in Carlisle Township with Mr. Yost. Okay, now we will move to the third annexation hearing. Why don't you give this to Roxanne so she put that in the official record? This is a public hearing on the proposed annexation of approximately 124.02 acres in Carlisle Township to the city of Elyria. Attorney Garrett Murray acting on behalf of Lauren Albert and Richard Pileski, agent for petitioners, EFT Incorporated and the United Polish Club Incorporated. The petition was submitted to the Commissioner's Office on June 6, 2001 for the proposed annexation of approximately 124.02 acres in Carlisle Township to the city of Elyria. The petition was filed with the county auditor and engineer. The engineer reviewed the accuracy of the petition and map, and by report dated June 12, 2001, the engineer indicated no discrepancies. The land is adjacent and contiguous to the city of Elyria. The Commissioners, by Resolution number 1-599, adopted June 21st, received petition and scheduled this public hearing. Elyria City Council adopted ordinance number 2001-128, dated August 6th, setting for services to be provided to this property if the annexation is granted. At this time, I would ask anyone who wishes to speak to this annexation issue to stand and be sworn in by the Assistant Prosecutor.
One more time, anybody who thinks they might testify, please. Do each of you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give today shall be the truth that you shall answer under God or under the penalty of the law of perjury?
Thank you, Attorney Garrett Murray.
Madam Chairman, my name is Garrett Murray. My address is 120 East Avenue, Elyria. And I represent Lauren J. Albert, agent for owner EFT Inc., and Richard Pileski, agent for the United Polish Club of Elyria, also known as United Polish Club Inc. We're here today requesting the annexation of 124.02 acres from the Township of Carlisle to the City of Elyria, Lorain County, Ohio. The property consists of 2 vacant parcels. Parcel 1000007101012 represents 36.94 acres, and that property is owned by the Polish Club. The remaining parcels on the annexation map are owned by EFT Inc., and the total of those 2 is 124.02 acres. The property is situated on the east side of Middle Avenue and on the west side of Indian Hollow Road. It's south of Southwood Drive, south of Colonial Oaks Park, and north of the Elyria Airport. And if I may approach the bench. Again, I have a aerial photo, colored photo of the subject property and surrounding areas, along with a map from the auditor's office, upon which I have traced the corporate line. And again, the City of Elyria map, which likewise has the parcel concerned and the annexation of the corporate line.
So basically, here.
What's this one on the bottom of the set?
Middle Avenue.
Oh, that's middle, that's it.
And here is this indicates
This right here. Spend a few bucks this time. This is the, okay, this is the city here. The yellow line is. And the way to get into this property is really fun.
some of the significant points on the colored photo would indicate that the opposed club's property is on the east side of Middle Avenue, and their frontage on Middle Avenue is 200 feet. I think that to the west of the property, you can see the Colonial Oaks Park, which is off of Middle Avenue, which is in the city of Elyria.
Direction was Colonial Oaks.
To the north.
Okay. Oaks Holding Company?
Pardon me?
Is that Oaks Holding Company, 76.77 acres, is that?
It's not, it's
I'm sorry.
At the end of Southwood Drive, it says 113 in a circle. Underneath, it says Oaks Holding Company, parcel 046, and it says 76.77 acres.
That's Colonial Oaks.
Thank you.
Another point of interest would be the property to the north of the EFT property holding, and incidentally, the area that where my client's property adjoins the city of Elyria is along the north line and along the west line of the city of Elyria. On the west, it's 357.60 feet, and on the north, it's 500 feet. An interesting point is when you take a look at the corporate line of the city of Elyria, the corporate line of the city of Elyria proceeds to the north and actually cuts through Southwood Drive. So part of Southwood Drive is in Carlisle Township, and the west part of Southwood Drive and Westwood Avenue is in the city of Elyria. And if you take a look at that city map that I presented, you can see that the corporate line moves back and forth all the way to the north. The other important point is that if you take a look at the colored map, you'll see that the city line extends westerly, extends along here to Middle Avenue. There is one parcel between my client's north line, the north line of the Polish Club, and the Colonial Oaks Park. So
And that is the property of Radacci,
that's Mr. Radacci's property, correct?
and that is in the township.
That is in the township, and that would remain in the township. And that's that one parcel that you can see from the colored map from the corporate line.
Thank you, Garrett.
The, again, your transcript indicates what services the city would provide. As I mentioned, the city already provides services to Colonial Oaks Park, sanitary sewer services, and also provides services to Southwood. And incidentally, to the north of Southwood Drive is Hope Court, and Hope Court is in the township. And my client, EFT Inc., principal is Lauren Elbert, is building in that area of Hope Court. And that is one of the areas where the city and county is extending sanitary sewer services. The use of the premises, the proposed use is as follows. As far as the Polish Club is concerned, they intend to develop the property in phases. They have hired Joe Ferret, who's an architect in Elyria, to draw plans. The first phase would be a picnic pavilion, a parking lot, kitchen and lavatory facilities. The Polish Club was founded on October 17th, 1945, has about 2,480 members, of which 600 are active. And as you all know, the Polish Club currently is located on Middle Avenue. Phase 2, and I say might be in the future for a new location for a new Polish Club building. That would be phase 2, and that's a maybe in the future. EFT will develop their property into a residential development of about 260 homes in the price range of $160,000 to $200,000. And if you take a look at the aerial photo, you will see that the property to the north, as we've indicated before, Greenwood and Southwood, is residential, and this would be a continued use. And incidentally, Greenwood Court, if you follow the corporate line, Greenwood Court and Southwood is in the city of Elyria and is serviced by the city of Elyria as far as police, fire, as well as I mentioned, as well as the Colonial Oaks Park. The sanitary sewer services that would be for the good of this territory would be provided from, could be provided from the city of Elyria, and they cannot be from Carlisle Township. A sanitary sewer could be provided from Fuller Road, and if you take a look at this colored photo, you can see where Fuller Road is located on this map, and the sewer would extend from Fuller Road south to this property, come down Middle Avenue to the Polish Club property. My client, EFT, would receive sanitary sewer services from that line that would go into the Polish Club.
Come down Middle Avenue, Garrett, did you say?
Come down Middle Avenue from Fuller.
Thank you.
The city of Elyria also is talking about City of Elyria is also,
I'm sorry, the question was, so the people will know, you'll know what we're asking. Commissioner Moore asked about the area around Fuller Road. Is that city or township? That was the question. I believe it's the city.
I believe that is in the city.
Where's the corporation line with respect to Middle Avenue? Is that north of Mr. Radachi's property? You said Mr. Radachi's property would remain in the township.
Correct.
And is the corporation line coming all the way west across there? Is that?
Right.
Okay, so.
To Middle Avenue.
To Middle Avenue. So south of that is Carlisle Township, north is the city.
And that's going to come right down Middle Avenue to this point right here.
Okay.
Yeah, the corporate line, yes, is to the north of Mr. Radachi's property.
Thank you, Garrett.
Okay, so yeah, I see the yellow line right here.
Thank you for that clarification. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but sometimes it helps if we can look and listen at the same time.
Thank you.
As I was mentioning, the City of Elyria does have plans. Again, these are speculative. They're not, an ordinance has not been passed by City Council. But there's a possibility that they would expand the southeast interceptor sewer down Middle Avenue. And at this point, this here is Middle Avenue, and that would be extended down Middle Avenue into a 21-inch line and into Mr. Radachi's property, which is with a 15-inch line. To the south of our property, and you can see it on the colored photo, is the Elyria Airport. If that came down from the City of Elyria, that my client would then be in a position to tap into that line. So my client has two choices. One would be to himself develop a sanitary sewer from Fuller Road down Middle Avenue to the Polish Club area and then over to the EFT property, or if the City of Elyria has those plans of constructing that sewer, then he'd be in a position to tap into that sewer. Again, the ordinance 9345 indicates that is the basis for the City of Elyria refusing to provide sanitary sewer services to a territory unless it is annexed into the City of Elyria. I have submitted a transcript of all the filings and of all the notices, of which the clerks themselves have acknowledged receipt, and I think that we have complied with Section 702, 70902, 70903, and 031. Again, with the possibility that this matter would be continued, I will not go into the recite the various sections of the code. I do have a summary of pertinent sections of the law regarding annexation. It's in capsule form, and I'd like to file that with the trustees. I believe that Carlisle Township is objecting to this annexation on the basis of the fact that it's unreasonably large, and I wanted to mention that there are cases that where there have been large parcels accepted for annexation. There's in-ray annexation of 816 acres in Mondova Township to the city of Maumee. That was 816 acres. There was 368 acres that were approved in Springfield Township case. In-ray petition for annexation of 368.08 acres in Springfield. In-ray appeal of Jefferson Township says that 5% of township territory annexed, even 7 to 10%, is not unreasonable. And when you talk about whether a parcel is too large, it's not only the size of the lot, but also it's the shape of it, whether it is done reasonably, and how it fits into the property to which it's being annexed. So in conclusion, we feel that we have complied with the criteria and standards of 709-033, and we ask that you accept the annexation.
Mr. Schrader, representing Carlisle Township.
Got my calendar this time. Garrett has asked that this be continued, and therefore I don't see the point in spending a lot of time discussing it if we're going to continue it anyway. Garrett's a great attorney. I don't particularly want to give him 60 or 90 days to think about what I say and think of ways to counteract it. That being the case, let me just summarize very briefly. I believe this is very akin to the first one. This involves an annexation that appears to be solely for the purpose of getting sewer. There is absolutely no question that sewer is available and close. There's 2 or 3 different ways sewer might be extended there. The Southeast Interceptor sewer, by the way, is the subject of an agreement between the county and the city, whereby the county allowed the city to use certain county and township streets in order to run the sewer lines, in return for which the city agreed to let the township people hook in without annexing. Now, their resolution 93-45, I would ask you between now and the next hearing to take a close look at it. Your standard ordinance on the part of cities around Ohio that say, look, we're not going to give annexation, or we're not going to give sewers without annexation, says exactly that. We're not going to give sewers without annexation. What this one says is we'll give first priority to people in the city. It doesn't say we're not going to give it outside the city. Fact is, they've given sewer service to residents outside the city. You're going to hear testimony, if we have the next hearing, from the trustees who will indicate a number of people that already got sewers outside the city. So it does not, in one iota, violate any city policy to give sewer outside the city without requiring annexation. That being the case, I'm not sure why they're requiring it of Lorne Elbert. I don't understand why they're requiring it of the Polish Club. And our argument is, in fact, going to be based on the unreasonably large notion. And the reason is that considers geographic character, shape, and size. The shape of it is 2 peninsulas that jut out from the city into the township. The Polish Club being the second peninsula that juts off from the first. There's something like 18 separate sides to this thing. The character of it, you got a Polish Club that wants to put in a picnic area and lavatory facilities. That's certainly more township and rural in character than city. The city's not talking about putting in, by the way, a commercial building or an industrial use here. They're talking about homes on the Lorne Elbert portion. That's EFT development, but you know, there's so many different names for different developers. If it's okay with everybody, I'm just going to refer to that as the Lorne Elbert property. Lorne Elbert's name I can easily remember. The others I may not. We believe, in terms of the unreasonably large, the other issue is relative ability to provide services. And again, the only service anybody wants here is sewer, and there is no reason in God's green earth that the city of Elyria can't provide those services to Lorne Elbert and the Polish Club without requiring annexation. They've already done it in other areas of the township. In order to get the county's permission to go through certain roads, that's essentially an extension of the southeast sewer system. We believe we can negotiate this out, hopefully, and get sewer to these folks without requiring annexation. To that extent, that's what my hope is that we can do in the next 60 days so that we don't even have to come back here. And the trustees have indicated they're willing to work on some kind of negotiation like that. By the way, if you look at City Ordinance 99-114, it specifically says Elyria will provide sanitary service sanitary sewer service for certain real property areas located outside the corporate limits of Elyria. They've already got an annexation. They've already got an ordinance that says that. So the bottom line is, we think they ought to serve it anyway. It's certainly advantageous to the city. Residential developments historically cost more to provide city services to than they get in property taxes, and that's true whether it's a $160,000 home or even a $200,000 home. Where you get your money is your commercial and industrial. We believe there's a basis to negotiate this out so that these folks can get sewer from Elyria in a way that benefits the city of Elyria in terms of future commercial or industrial development, maybe in other areas, benefits the township so that this land can remain in the township, and furthermore benefits the Lorne Alberts and the Polish clubs of the world by way of getting them sewer service without annexation. Lastly, it'll benefit the city, if I might in general frame what I think is going to be the negotiation. It benefits the city because they pick up sewer service customers that they can be selling this service to and making a little money and offsetting what it costs the residents of the city of Elyria on their sewer bills by picking up these customers, which they can do very easily, and which Attorney Murray did a great job of explaining two different directions that sewer can come from. So we think that there's a win-win situation here that can happen without annexation, and we hope that you will grant Garrett's motion to continue this to a later date so that in the meantime, hopefully, we can resolve this.
Board to continue the hearing? I believe I heard a request from both the attorneys that that would be agreeable to continue this hearing.
Yeah, and on this one, I'm not sure it makes any difference, but the board could consider this a joint motion to continue. To that extent, we may have the first ice broken. We're finally working together on something. At least it's a motion to continue.
Then we have to have a date.
Right.
Now, Garrett, you did not want these all on the same day. Do you have a preference for the board? We've scheduled the Yost issue on October the 11th, the Elyria Township issue on the 25th.
By the way, I know you're concerned about a 90-day limit, but I believe, and I'm relying on memory on this, that the 90 days starts at the conclusion of the hearing. And I don't know if that's a big problem or not. I guess I'm suggesting to you, I don't care if we go a little bit beyond the 90. Do you, Garrett?
No, I don't care either.
Okay.
Maybe
And I
it's-
don't think Jerry Ennis cares either. Do you, Jerry?
I've always indicated that if the principals would agree to it, then I think we're all right.
Okay. So we have an agreement.
That's correct.
So you're looking at a date.
I do too.
I guess the only other day would be Thursday, November 1st,
With all respect,
unless you do another day.
could we do it after the election? Well, I happen to be running for re-election as trustee this year, and I'd like to have a little bit of time to campaign.
Is there any problem with doing it later in November?
I could do it you'd like to do these on Tuesdays. I could do
No,
it
we would prefer
Thursdays, I'm
to
sorry.
adhere to Thursday schedule if at all possible.
To show good faith, Thursday the 8th, that's,
Thursday, November the 8th, do you have anything scheduled, Roxanne?
No.
Commissioners?
It's fine with me.
that's 2 days after the election, and however it goes, I will have sobered up by then. And, either from celebrating or drowning my sorrows. Just kidding, by the way.
It's too bad that you can't get anybody here to vote for you, because you could use this time to plug your credentials. I move that we continue this hearing to Thursday, November the 8th at 10:30.
Can I just clear something up? Is that within our 90 days or
It may
not?
just be a week after, but it's right
Okay,
around.
well, I just want to make sure I have a clear understanding of the attorneys. The attorneys waive any sort of defect.
Including as part of the motion.
Right, the attorneys waive any sort of defect concerning that 90-day limit.
That's correct.
On behalf of the township, that's correct. We waive
Thank you.
any problem or defect because of the 90 days.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
I want to thank the attorneys representing the various parties, the people who came in attendance today, the trustees from the various townships, and the citizens who came to watch this process. Annexation, I think, is a painful process for everybody involved. It's clearly not something that the Board of Commissioners likes to be involved in, but the Ohio Revised Code says that we are to decide these issues. I would hope that we could work out something so that the commissioners can just approve whatever is worked out by the attorneys representing the various parties. And we have some very fine attorneys here that have worked with the county in the past. So I look forward to something positive coming out of this. I want to thank you for your attendance today. We had, I'm sorry, Commissioner Vacy?
Just for point of interest, I think there might be some people here that might be interested in this information that I have. I requested the Community Development Department to give me the acreage in each one of the townships. Kristen broke that down, did a very fine job of it, and if anybody would like that information, I have it available here. We heard everybody talking about excessive acreage for annexation. This might help us out a little bit along the line in the future. So if you like it, Stacy, you can put it at the back table.
Thank you. This will conclude our public hearing on the third request for annexation that was considered this morning. At this point in time, is there anybody in the public who would like to comment on any other issue other than what we have discussed this morning? We do have a public comment period of time. Some of you were not here when we offered that public comment at the conclusion of our original meeting. So if there's anybody in the public who would like to make any comment at this point in time? Seeing no takers, I move we go into executive session to discuss the personnel sheet and new hire that was proposed earlier in this meeting. You gonna second that, Commissioner Vacy?
Second. Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
You didn't want to second it?